I'm giving you guys the top 5 meta loadouts in Warzone 3, and if you guys want some COD points, I want you guys to comment metas. Now, all these loadouts are going to be loadouts that are going to be very easy to use, and these are statistically actually the best time to kills. So, we're going to start out with the WASP B. You're on the VT7 Spiritfire Suppressor L for being undetectable by radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range at the cost of aim down sight speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. You're on the Brune Venom Longbow for bullet velocity and range, recoil control, aiming idle sway, and gun kick control at the cost of sprint to fire speed, movement speed, and sprint speed. Next, throw on the Brune Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming idle sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. This is the best possible choice. These other ones just work for different purposes, which do not help for the WASP B. 45 round mag is the best possible choice. It would be nice if there was more, but the 30 is just not the best choice. You want to have as many bullets as possible in your AR, and the 45 is the best overall choice. The last thing is my personal preference is the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times. Now, if you want to use anything else, feel free, but I can't guarantee you the same amount of results that I'm about to show you in the firing range. This is my personal preference, and I think it works exceptionally well for the WASP B. So for somebody that's just hopping on Warzone, trying to just get some easy kills and, want something with very little recoil, this is definitely the easiest weapon to get the job done. It doesn't take much work to actually use this weapon. Short and medium range is absolutely phenomenal, and the only hard one is long range, where it does get a little bit more recoil, but if you can actually control the recoil, it's an incredibly easy weapon to use, and I highly recommend having this in your arsenal. So I'm going to show you guys the entire class setup. If you guys made it this far into the video, all I ask you guys to do is comment wow. I want to give some of you guys some COD points, and this is kind of the best way to do it just for the loyal subscribers that actually watch the entire video. But you guys can screenshot this, take a picture, or just build the class right now. This is the first weapon in the top 5, and it is the WASP B for the long range gameplay. Next is the WASP Swarm. This thing is absolutely incredible, and it is the king of close range right now. On the L4R flash hider for muzzle flash concealment, recoil control, and gun kick control at the cost of aim down sight speed, I think this is the best possible choice. I mean, some people like using suppressors, so if you guys actually want to use a suppressor, there's only two I recommend. It's either the Shadow Strike Suppressor S or the Monolithic Suppressor. These are the two best choices. Everything else is kind of not really ideal to me. I mean, it's really whatever you want to choose, but in my opinion, the best possible choice is just the L4R flash hider. Next, throw on the WASP Reckless 90 Longbow for bullet velocity and range, aiming idle sway, gun kick control, and recoil control at the cost of aim down sight speed, hip fire and tack stance spread, aim walking speed, and sprint to fire speed. I know that sounds bad, but trust me, this is the one you want to use. Next, throw on the Brune Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming idle sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. A 100 round drum is the best possible choice. Now, you do get a reduction of movement speed, aim down sight speed, reload quickness, and sprint to fire speed, but if you look at the 50 round mag, the cons are basically similar. Now, I am going to be honest with you, you do get slightly less movement and slightly less ADS, but if everything else being essentially the same, I just don't really recommend having 50, but you can have twice as much and not really suffer as many cons. Last thing is the FSS Rampage 7 Tactical for aim down sight speed, aiming out of sway, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim walking speed and movement speed. This weapon doesn't take much effort to use either. It's a very low recoil weapon. I would just avoid the long range engagements because you're most likely going to lose. Now stick to the short range engagements and you'll be good to go. If anyone actually caught that fail in the comment section, I'm going to shout you out in the next video. Tell me what I said. If you caught that, let me know in the comment section down below. But feel free to actually copy this class setup down or take a picture or anything like that. This WASP Swarm is the best close range weapon. It gets the job done incredibly easy and essentially takes no effort. Like this weapon right here, this class setup is going to be incredibly easy to use. Try it out for yourself and let me know. Next is another long range meta weapon. Now this is the Polemiot 762. This is an LMG, and I think that it's potentially better than the WASP B, and I think it actually has as much mobility as well. So throw on the VT7 Spiritfire Suppressor L for being undetectable by radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range at the cost of aim down sight speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. Make sure you guys have the aftermarkets part, and the only way to get this is to level the gun up all the way. It's the Jack Annihilator Bullpup Kit for mobility and handling, rate of fire, hip fire, attack stance spread, and aim down sight speed. Now you guys see the cons, don't worry about them because everything is going to get taken care of with this class setup. Throw on the Jack Annihilator Longbow for bullet velocity and range at the cost of sprint to fire speed and aiming out of sway. Throw on the Brune Heavy Support Grip for gun kick control, aiming out of sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. Now you don't want to use everything else just because they don't serve the purpose that the Brune Heavy Support Grip does. This gun goes side to side, not up and down, so you need to have the Brune Heavy Support Grip. The last thing is my personal preference, the Corio Eagle's Eye 2.5 times. Now there's technically a zoom glitch on this, so if you guys want to use anything else you can, but I just think that the Corio Eagle's Eye gives the best result. They're just showing you what it looks like in game. The mobility is actually pretty amazing, I'm not gonna lie. And you guys see the recoil is essentially non-existent. And this is why I say that it compares with the WASP. Like, it probably actually is better. So if you guys want to try it out for yourself, feel free. It has a pretty decent fire rate. It might actually be slightly slower than the WASP, but you guys see how many times I actually took out the target for running out of bullets. This thing is absolutely insane. If you guys want to copy this down, feel free to take a picture, screenshot, whatever you guys want to do. This build right here is absolutely insane, and I highly recommend anybody that's going to play Warzone to have this in their arsenal. Now here's another meta battle rifle, and it is the MTZ762. A lot of people have actually been saying that it's stronger than the WASP, so I wanted to give you guys a class. So on the VT7 Spare Fire Suppressor L for being undetectable by radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range at the cost of aim down sight speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. Next is the MTZ Precision Blackthorn Barrel for bullet velocity and range, aiming out of sway and firing aim stability at the cost of hip fire attack stand spread, which is not a big deal, and aim walking speed. This one is special, the Bruin Pivot Vertical Grip for gun kick control, vertical recoil, aiming out of sway and firing aim stability at the cost of horizontal recoil, aim down sight speed, and sprint to fire speed. This one you do not need the Bruin Heavy Support Grip just because it's not a side-to-side type recoil, it's an up and down type recoil. And although the Kimura seems like the best option, I was actually leaning towards the Holger Vertical, but then I was like, wait a minute, this still doesn't have as many cons as many pros as the Kimura. But then I saw the Bruin Pivot Vertical Grip, which has just as many pros as the Kimura, and I started thinking, why are these identical if they're two different attachments? And I realized this one's actually more beneficial than the Kimura. Next on the 30 round mag, unfortunately this is as high as it can go. If it could go higher, trust me, I would put on more, but unfortunately you can't. And last but not least, the Coil Eagle's Eye 2.5 times is my personal preference, but you can use whatever you want to if you want a worse gameplay. Let me show you guys something. I'm barely holding my thumbstick down and it gets the job done so easy. The only thing that gives me a challenge is long range a little bit, but it essentially acts like the EM2 from Warzone 1. If you guys remember that gun, all you had to do was learn how to control the recoil just a little bit, and it is the best gun in the game. This thing is absolutely deadly, and this is why some people are actually saying it's more dangerous than the WASP. So if you guys made it this far, tell me, do you guys think the MTZ762 is better or the WASP? I'm really curious to see what you guys think. I hope you guys can put it in the comment section. I'm going to shout more of you guys out if you guys do that as well. But if you guys want to screenshot, take a picture, or just build the class right now, you can pause the video or anything like that. This is one of the best long-range assault rifles, battle rifles in the game. Now, the last thing I want to show you guys is the Lockwood 680. Throwing the Bryson choke for the hip fire intact stand spread and tighter pellet spread at the cost of recoil control and aim down sight speed, which is not a big deal. The Lockwood Defender Heavy Long Barrel for the tube ammo capacity gives you 10 bullets instead of say like 6 or something even less. Recoil control, aiming out sway, and bullet velocity and range. I'm not really worried about the recoil control. The bullet velocity does help a whole lot though. You do get a reduction of aim down sight speed, movement speed, sprint to fire speed, and sprint speed, but we can take care of that later on. Point G3P04 for hip recoil control, hip fire attack stand spread, and sprint to fire speed at the laser being visible at hip, not really a big deal. The sawed off mod, which makes this thing so great, it drastically boosts the sprint to fire speed, movement speed, aim walking speed, and aim down sight speed at the cost of cons that don't even matter for this gun. The last thing is the Express Light Bolt. This helps you literally just shoot faster. This is something you definitely want to have on your gun, and it just sacrifices some rechambering accuracy, gun kick control, and recoil control. Like I said, doesn't even matter. So here's the class. If you guys made it to this 5th gun right here, let me know in the comment section what is your favorite of the top 5 meta loadouts in Warzone 3. I would greatly appreciate it, and I'll shout some of you guys out if you made it this far.